Hey, my name is Maciek.
And my name is Luke.
And this is the My Pen is Huge podcast, where we were supposed to review bad movies. We made one podcast, didn't do it again.
Finals were tough, you know.
Yeah, we just finished our senior year, and now we're going to make more podcasts until I inevitably move out of state, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, My Pen is Huge podcast. Instead of reviewing bad movies, we're actually going to review a good one with a special guest. His name is...
Francisco.
And the movie we'll be reviewing is Spider-Man Far From Home, directed by Jon Watts.
Directed by the gentleman known as Jon Watts, who is very famous for his other movies, such as Cop Car and Clown. Very creative titles from Mr. Watts.
Yeah, nobody knows him, I guess. Except well, he made Homecoming, but...
He did make Spider-Man Homecoming.
Which is honestly...
Which was my favorite Spider-Man movie until Spider-Verse dropped, because Spider-Verse is iconic, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Because that's not the subject of this podcast.
Yeah, the subject of this podcast will be Spider-Man Far From Home. So we will be, I guess, in the section where there's no spoilers. We're just going to give our general thoughts. And then we will be moving on to a spoiler section where we go in-depth on the movie, on what we thought was good and bad, so on and so forth. So this is the no spoiler section. So does anybody really want to go first?
Thank you for volunteering, Francisco. Without spoiling anything, what did you think of the movie?
I think it was really good, to be honest. I felt like especially for the digital effects, I think it was really awesome. It was really clean for a lot of the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I like how they kept the original with all the comedy that's, in Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, like in Homecoming, specifically.
So that's what I think. I think it was really great overall, to be honest, and I like the comedy in that a lot.
Okay. Do you want to go next?
I will. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. It was fun as hell. It was very funny. The action and the CGI were fantastic. The weakest point would be the villain. After 2 movies of Thanos, this was sort of a step down, I've got to be honest, but
yeah, I agree.
It's a very fun summer action movie, so go watch it and enjoy yourselves for once. You fucking Americans.
Yeah. In my opinion, I thought the movie was fucking excellent. I did think that the first act...
No fucking swearing in my house, sorry.
I thought the first act was weak. I thought that was the weakest point of the whole movie. The first act felt like a teenage romantic comedy, which is fine, but I felt like it didn't fit with the... I mean, it fits with the movie in a sense, but it felt out of place for me because I just wanted to see Spider-Man. And it was really nice to see Peter Parker's development as a character. I just didn't think it worked because Homecoming, the whole movie, was a teenage romantic comedy. This movie is not that, and that's why it felt kind of out of place. But besides that, the second and third act really picked up. The action was fucking amazing. Most of the CGI was really good. I personally enjoyed Perfect, Luke. Calm down.
That's not...
No, listen.
We're okay, I guess we just abandoned the concept of a non-spoiler section.
Oh, shit.
Fuck! Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Me and him both alone.
Damn.
We're like, okay.
Shit. I guess I'll edit it out.
Just bleep it when we get there.
Yeah, just bleep that.
Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my bad, folks. Well, I thought the villain was good. Did I say it? Well, I mean, there's a villain.
Yes, there is a villain.
Did I say your name?
Yes, you said name.
Damn. Oh, wait, their name? Don't want to spoil the joke.
We're gonna have to bleep out all of this.
Alright, I thought the villain was good. My bad. Sorry. Besides that, though, I thought that directing was kind of boring. I guess I'll go more into that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a step up from Homecoming. And yeah, now we'll move into the spoiler section. I mean, I guess we're already in it, but...
Kind of. Alright, so... Okay. What should we talk about first? should we address the villain? Because I feel like we're so eager to talk about it.
Yeah.
We couldn't get in a minute in.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we can talk about.
Okay, the villain is Mysterio.
As I said by accident.
If you saw the trailer and you did not know Mysterio was going to be the villain, welcome to your first Spider-Man story. It was quite obviously the most obvious thing ever. I can speak English, believe it or not. Anyway, so yeah, like there was the scene where Peter is at the bar with Mysterio, and right then and there I was like, okay, so this is gonna be Mysterio's reveal as a villain. And then Peter handed over Tony Stark's fucking glasses, which was the dumbest move I have ever seen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yes, we do. So yeah, he just sort of says, oh, I'm not good enough to be the next Iron Man, and I saw you defeat one monster, and I've known you for about a day, so here is the most powerful object on planet fucking Earth. And I'm like, oh, okay, so the main reason any sort of action is happening in this movie is because Peter's a fucking idiot who trusted someone who was very obviously going to turn out to be evil. So that is the biggest gripe with the movie, the fact that none of the action needed to take place. If Peter had just been less of a fucking idiot, Mysterio would have just been a random guy, and he wouldn't have had access to the drones he used in the final battle. And if Peter ever figured out that Mysterio was a bad guy, the final battle would have been about 2 seconds. Because let's be real, Spider-Man versus normal guy,
yeah, no.
It's not exactly a balanced fight.
I mean, to be fair, Franny over here, I mean, didn't know about Mysterio. And I mean, do you want to give any insight because Luke and I both knew that Mysterio was the villain, like even just because we know the comics, I guess, but you didn't. So do you want to talk about that? Like, what did you think of him?
Yeah, sure. So like at first I was thinking, when he first came up, I was all like, it made sense, and it was true. Like when he said, when Mysterio did say, what did he say? He was all like, people believe anything nowadays, and so like even like me as an audience member that didn't read the comics, right? I was just like, that's true. And at first when he did come and he said there's like a parallel universe of Earth, I was like, oh, this is like legit. This makes sense, you know. After all these freaking Avenger movies, like, okay, this makes sense. Like, but then the only thing that made me start doubting it a little bit was the fact that he kept being a little too nice, and he did say that one thing that they connected back was like, it's okay to be the smartest man in the room. But then after that, once he said that too, I was like, no, then this guy's just a cool guy that did lose his family, and he was always like, they're always zooming in on his ring that he had on his hand. And it's just like, I don't know, I just never expected Mysterio to be the bad guy at all until like he did hand over the glasses, and everything was just like, that was too easy. I was just like, that was way too easy. Why would he just, I don't know, I felt Peter like read into that too much of like the little note that he gave, Tony Stark gave, but it was just, I didn't expect it at first, but then afterwards it made more sense, but I was like oblivious to Mysterio gonna be the bad guy, yeah.
So did you think it was a good twist, in your opinion?
For somebody that's like, that's not fully aware of what happens in the comics and stuff, I did like it, yeah. I felt like it was a good thing. If it brought action that was needed from the not so great Act 1, I agree as well. It's like the transition was weird, and then once the stuff started picking up, I think that's when it started picking up, right when they did that twist.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought, I have mixed feelings about Mysterio because Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought, performed as him really well. I just feel like some of the writing was kind of bullshit. Like, I can't fucking get over the monologue, dude. Like, the fact that he explained everything to his own fucking crew is ridiculous. Why does he need to explain himself and say, oh yeah, I got fired from Stark, like, from like Stark Industries. Like, I'm gonna tell you this to people that I've worked with my entire life and based my entire plan around. Like, that was completely dumb. And the fact that they had to explain it, the writers have just proven themselves to be amateurs, in my opinion. Because I mean, why the fuck would they have to give a super villain monologue to not even the fucking superhero. Like, the point of a supervillain monologue is to explain it to the superhero. That's the cliche.
He explains the plan to his crew, his own crew,
Yeah.
who helped him develop the plan.
And they masqueraded it as like a ceremonial speech.
Yeah.
It was dumb. And like, and then they actually cleverly showed his plan when Zendaya's character MJ like finds the hologram, and then Peter's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then they're on a bridge, and then they see like, you know, the whole monster or whatever like being, I guess, projected. I thought that was pretty clever because it showed Peter's intelligence, because he was able to piece it together, especially when he talked to Nick Fury. He's like, I think they did it with the drones, with Edith or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, that whole scene with Mysterio did not need to be there. They only tried to show him as being evil, and I feel like they could have done that without a 5-minute explanation. I thought that was kind of bad. And I feel like that kind of rushed everything, like, for no fucking reason. Like, it ruined the natural development of the character, I feel like. And besides that, I mean, I liked his performance. I thought he was really fun. I didn't like that Peter only had 2 interactions with him and then trusted him with his father figure's fucking glasses. I thought that was really dumb. I mean, I guess he was trying to do the noble thing, and he was, like you said, Franny, that he was reading into the note too much. I don't know. I just think... And I mean, part of me is like, you know, Peter Parker's like 16. So, I mean, he's not... like he's not fully developed yet, so he makes stupid decisions.
I mean, he's young, but I don't think that is an excuse to be this much of a dunce.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I can understand him being an idiot with anything else, but like a gift from his fucking father figure, basically, who died, is that was a bullshit move. I don't know what the writers were thinking. Honestly.
I feel like that does fit a little bit though with his like. Him being naive, because he did want that escape. He was literally, it was like, that's all he saw, his way out. So it was sort of like his way out, and he just wanted to take it without really thinking about it. Because all he was thinking about the entire time was just MJ anyway, so. I
mean, that's actually a pretty good point. I guess he was just blinded by his need to, like, be a kid.
I get that, but, like, the movie acts like it's a lot more subtle and clever than it is. Like, you know, like the villain literally tells Spider-Man, like, oh, you know, why do you have to be Spider-Man? Just don't go to Berlin, you know, just hang out with that girl, you know, stop being Spider-Man. I am not the villain. Please do not stop my plans. And I don't know, I just don't feel like it was very well written, you know, like the dialogue, I mean... Yeah, like, you know, he has the conversation with Mysterio, and Mysterio's all like, well, you don't owe them anything, but it just felt too blatant to me, you know, when Peter came to the conclusion, like, yeah, you know, just, I don't need this responsibility, I want to be a kid, like, it didn't feel natural, like, because it was just so obvious to me, when the guy literally tells Spider-Man, you don't need to be Spider-Man, like, you remember the old, everyone knows the quote, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. When you're in a Spider-Man movie and Spider-Man is being told by someone he doesn't have responsibility to help people and he doesn't owe anyone anything and he should just be a kid and stop being Spider-Man, like, that's, I don't, it's too much. It's too much. Like that quote about responsibility is so synonymous with Spider-Man, and someone, you know, just saying the exact opposite. It's like, okay, you're the villain. Like, easy.
See, I guess you're charting... Wait, did you want to say something, Franny? I was going to say, like, with that, it's charting weird territory because the MCU movies are trying so hard to not talk about Uncle Ben. Which, and like, you know what's fucking bullshit too? Is like, you know the suitcase that he has, like, where he packs everything? There's a shot for like 2 seconds where by the lock it says BJ or BF BJ. No, it's like BFP. It was supposed to be Ben Parker. It's it's Uncle Ben's suitcase.
Yeah.
And not only did he lose it and have it destroyed in the fight, he didn't even think twice about it. And I think it's so dumb that like they're just completely ignoring Uncle Ben and basically replacing it with Tony Stark. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why you know, this whole idea of like with great power comes great responsibility, it doesn't play that big of a role because they're making a new Spider-Man. And it's not supposed to be Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It's not the Spider-Man from the comics entirely. It's MCU Spider-Man. And I agree with you that Spider-Man's supposed to be responsible. Like, he learned that from his fucking... Like, that's his origin story. That's his whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
I guess they're just trying to make a new spin on him. That's my only, like, way of explaining why they would make such a dumb decision like that. And another thing, I was going to talk about the fact that he gave up the glasses in the context of the movie and in the context of the whole series is incredibly dumb. Because even, like, in the beginning, like, you know, where's that shot where he's, like, on the rooftop and it's, like, Iron Man, like, painted on the wall? He misses him. So why the fuck would he give away the one thing that he left him? Like, even if he doesn't use the tech, it's a memento.
Yeah.
Of him. It's like, why would you give that up?
No, yeah, okay, now that I think about it more, I don't know, at first I was thinking, like, because I was talking to you about it, like, he was, like, you know, like, traumatized after everything that happened, so maybe that's why he wanted it out so quickly, but the more I think about it, like, it is a memento thing, like, I feel like if my father passed away and all I had left was just the glasses, like, why, oh, here, just take it.
Yeah.
You're the superhero. I'm gonna go now. Like what?
I'd kill someone if someone tried to take the glasses.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
You know?
And, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, he's, like you said, he's trying to find an escape. He's trying to maybe that's, like, a metaphor for him letting go of his feelings. I'm probably looking into it too much. But, like, there's no way someone would actually do that. But then again, this is the same fucking guy that doesn't care about the fucking suitcase his Uncle Ben left him and lets it be destroyed. So it's like...
It's because he lost his Peter Tingle.
Like, this version of Spider-Man just does not care about material objects at all for some reason.
No, I mean...
Here's the reason I don't like Mysterio so much is because he's also dumb. Everyone in this movie is very dumb. They're all fucking dumb.
Except MJ.
Yeah, MJ is the one smart character in the fucking movie.
I love MJ. She's fucking great.
Also,
she's a very good
quick
character.
side note, I love how they turned Flash from like a jock bully character to just a fucking loser. Like, I would bully Flash if I was in that school.
He's such
just straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's supposed to be like the rich kid, so that gives him some sort of power.
Yeah, like he live streams his entire trip in Europe. He's got like 50 followers. No one fucking likes him.
I mean, I don't know, man. Spider-Man follows him on Instagram.
He also goes to school with Spider-Man, so it's not that impressive. But anyway, everyone in this movie is dumb. Mysterio is dumb, and let me explain why. What was his plan in the bar? His grand scheme is, I'm gonna be nice to Peter, and hopefully he'll just hand me the glasses. He doesn't try and convince Peter at all. Like, he just has a friendly conversation with him over a fucking drink, and then Peter hands him the glasses.
See, but like the thing that started the conversation was his glasses fell.
Yeah, wait, why were they on the ground? What?
See, and this is my thinking, right? And I mean, I wish they'd shown it. Maybe Peter actually is that fucking dumb, and he just let the glasses fall. But you know how the lady picks him up and then hands him to Peter, and then he's like, "Oh, what's that?" Maybe that chick pickpocketed him, and I wish they'd like had a little scene where they just showed like. But then that would have ruined the twist, right? Which I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. They should have made that clear.
I feel like that whole part was just awkward.
Yeah,
it's like.
What led up to it, and then what after that, like that whole like you said, that whole speech, it was just like an awkward transition trying to get it.
They were trying to get the villain in the movie.
Yeah, like
because we're an hour in, and I mean, yeah, I guess we thought the villains were a big rock.
Can you imagine if Mysterio wasn't the villain? Like, this was a movie about Spider-Man fighting fucking lava monsters and shit. I mean, that would have been terrible.
Honestly, though, because I saw the movie twice. And the first time I watched it with another one of my friends. He thought the movie ended after Mysterio went into the lava thing. He's like, all right, so it's been an hour and a half or something, like, where I guess we're going. So, like, so I'm like, I mean, I guess, like, that's what they're going for. I mean, I don't know. Like, again, it's a different perspective because, like you, Franny, he didn't know about Mysterio, so he thought that was the end of the movie because he thought.
Yeah, I swear, I'm telling you right now. Right when he was just like he derped into the freaking lava guy, and he's just sitting there like nothing happened. I'm like, well, I guess it's not the end anymore. Like,
did you think that was like?
I honestly did because I'm like, this whole movie seemed like it was just about the little monsters, but then after that, I was like,
the little monsters.
I was like, is the rest of the movie just gonna be like him trying to get at MJ? Like, what else is supposed to happen? It's too short.
Yeah, I mean, so. I guess in conclusion, the villain needed some work.
Yeah, my biggest problem is that none of the action scenes needed to happen if everyone was just
using their
smarter.
Brain. Yeah, honestly.
Like, if Peter did not drop the glasses, the movie ends. Like, if Peter does. If the glasses are not on the ground and Peter starts thinking, oh man, like I've only had the glasses a few days and I'm already dropping them. Like I'm not responsible enough to have these. Like if Peter doesn't just drop the fucking glasses, he leaves the bar and the movie ends. Like it all relies on Peter just making extremely dumb mistakes.
Honestly, yeah, it doesn't feel like it was structured. It felt like it was just like a coincidence. It was an accident that happened just cause. It was like, it doesn't seem like it was meant to be so that everything else could like fall down like a domino effect. It was just like, oh, this domino is here, might as well push it over, you know? It was just all a coincidence. I didn't like that either.
Like, yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think Mysterio would have stopped there. I mean, I guess he probably would have like, for lack of a better word, just kept grooming him, I guess. Like, literally, like, just keep manipulating him. But, I mean, like, he wasn't even responsible with the glasses in the first place, because he tried killing what's his name, Brad? He, like, he tried setting a drone strike on this guy, and it's like, I mean, honestly, that part kind of, okay, I don't know if we're going to transition from the villain, but I'm just going to say one of my biggest gripes with these two movies, like the MCU Spider-Man movies, I hate that all dramatic moments, okay, not all, almost all dramatic moments, or moments that could be dramatic, and all of his mistakes especially, are played for comedy, and then there are no consequences. Him sending a drone strike on a guy
on
in
a
his
school bus
should have more consequences. But nothing happens. He punches Flash in the face.
Yeah. He gets
Flash says nothing, dude.
Yeah, he just wakes
Flash
up.
is a cuck, okay? Let's just call it what it is. Flash is a rich douchebag, and no one in his life has ever told him no. And suddenly, he tries to take something, and he gets punched in the fucking face, and he doesn't know how to react.
He rubs his face.
Yeah,
and
like,
that's it. They edit on, and then he takes his pants off with that blonde chick or whatever, but, you know.
Yeah. Peter punches a man in the face, a child in the face, a fellow child in the face. Nothing happens. Peter launches a drone strike on a child in a school bus, and Nick Fury chastises him once, and we move on.
Yeah, like okay, I can't say there are no consequences in this movie because there's one major one in the end credits scene, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, with his identity being revealed.
J. Jonah Jameson!
I'm so fucking happy about that. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Best part of the movie.
Yeah, but the point is, I hate that he has no actual consequences that last throughout the movie. Like, fucking in Homecoming, Aunt May finds out he's Spider-Man. And what happens in this movie? She uses him for her charity event. And is like, yeah, good luck, honey. Here's your costume. I'm going to put it in your bag. Don't forget it. What? Are you telling me Aunt May doesn't care about the safety of Spider-Man, dude?
She sends her nephew into battle on a foreign continent.
Like, yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I saw you fight that big ass monster. Yeah, I hope you're okay. You know,
she got him like some fucking food from like a local sandwich place at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
that was all that happened.
She hugged him. She's like, oh my god, thank God, and that was it.
And also, she didn't care about the suitcase either. Now that you think,
oh yeah, she doesn't care.
Yeah, it blew up.
Her husband's suitcase blew up. The one that got shot.
Yeah.
Her husband, who, given the age of Aunt May, probably died in, like, his fucking 30s.
No, I do. You know, in real life, she's like 56.
What?
What the?
Yeah. She looks like she's 20, right? It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's beside the point.
I don't think it is beside the point. We need to discuss this. New podcast.
New episode just on Aunt May. But, yeah.
The Aunt May Appreciation Podcast.
I think she's a really funny character. I mean, her and Happy, that whole thing was kind of really
Maybe that's why
funny.
they're kicking out Uncle Ben. Happy's the new one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's still bullshit. How's she moving on?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like,
Honestly.
the love of her life gets shot and she's moving on with some prick. Jon Favreau,
Did he
of all people.
even exist, though? Is the question. Has he ever been mentioned?
He was mentioned in Civil War. And they didn't say his name. They mentioned him in passing, kind of.
How the fuck did we get here? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Mysterio, but I started moving on and I said I don't like the fact that Spider-Man has no consequences.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He has, okay, I can't say none at all,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, his consequences are played for comedy. He almost drone strikes a student. Ha ha ha. Like, he ditches MJ at the opera. I mean, yeah, I guess she finds out that he's Spider-Man. That's a consequence, I guess. But, like, I want something, like, bad. Because, I mean, the whole thing with Spider-Man, like, in the comic books, he's trying to juggle his, like, real life with the life of Spider-Man. And because he keeps ditching people, he's hurting their feelings, and he's ruining relationships. There's some kind of strain. Or, you know, like, somebody gets hurt because he's a superhero, like Uncle Ben. None of that shit happens. Like, I don't know. Like, I think...
It's like a little slap on the wrist.
It's like the only person who particularly cares that he constantly runs away is that douchebag who's trying to fuck MJ, and he accuses Peter of being a male escort.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of wish that Brad got his way. I wish he sent that picture, and I wish that Peter Parker had to deal with that. And I kind of wish that MJ, at least in this movie, like, went with him. Because I feel like that's a real world consequence. And that would have been really interesting to see, you know, like him fighting back for MJ.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, one of my favorite parts of the whole movie was their whole relationship. I thought they had amazing chemistry.
Yeah. So, in conclusion of the bad stuff, Mysterio had a shitty plan. Peter was kind of dumb. And Peter has no consequences. That being said, I fucking love the movie. And let's talk about good things now.
Yeah, let's just get that. We got that stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the action?
Oh my god.
I thought the one scene where he basically he's trying to expose Mysterio. I loved it. That was, like, everything about that was so amazing.
On the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh.
What, was it the bridge? No. The one where he's like the building where he
the
gets hit by the
tower,
train. Yeah.
where he's like trying to keep
Oh,
it from falling.
like the hypnosis scene.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah, dude, I love the part where, like, the whole where they duplicate a bunch of Mysterios and it's like he's in the head of Mysterio. And
Yeah,
he's
like a snow globe?
Yeah.
Oh my! They put the whole budget into that one.
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, right.
Because the CGI in the first act was
The
garbage.
movie depends on that one scene.
My least favorite thing in, like, Hollywood action movies is the constant cuts in action scenes. Like, when the camera changes angles, like, every 2 seconds,
Every punch.
and you can every punch. when the camera angle changes every punch and you can't see anything that's going on, I fucking hate that. And, like, I was actually able to follow the action in this movie, and that was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It was so fun and so energetic, and, like, they utilized Peter's powers very well. You know, like, it wasn't just a bunch of scenes of him punching people in the face. Like, the webs, I loved the part where, like, he sort of earned Mysterio's respect when he was, like, you know, fucking fixing the city as Mysterio was fighting the water elemental.
Yeah.
Just, like, the shit with the webbing, and it was so good, man. Like, I loved every action scene in this movie. It was just a lot of fun. I barely was even thinking about the dumb shit while watching the action, because it was that good.
Mm-hmm. See, like, I feel bad because I guess we're in the good part of the movie. And I thought Because I have another genuine gripe that I feel like
What's up?
wasn't well developed. Like the whole Peter Tingle thing.
Oh.
No, hear me out. Aunt May throws a banana in his fucking face. He doesn't dodge it. They mention that once in the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the movie, he doesn't talk about it at all until the very end when he's like the fight with Mysterio. He brings it up again with Happy.
I don't know.
And like yeah, I guess he got hit once or twice, but I mean like that's natural for any superhero. Like you're not fucking invincible. But it's like they don't bring up the spider tingle at all. They mention it twice and then it becomes super important at the end, but it's like why is it important when it wasn't developed throughout the whole movie? Do you know what I mean? And like I may be in the minority in this case, but like I felt like that was lazy writing and they were like depending on that cuz that was the whole thing was like he earned his Peter tingle at the end. But it felt like it was always there. It didn't feel like it was that big of a hindrance on him.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
He definitely could have gotten his ass kicked a lot more in the movie to show that like it wasn't working.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I guess the hypnosis scene, you know, but I mean like, I guess they're showing and not telling, but I feel like as a general audience member, you probably should have mentioned the Peter tingle more, or at least
instead of that whole
made it
5-minute monologue.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Like spent some time actually like, I don't know, like. Yeah, I'm not saying do an effect or something every time he has like a tingle or some shit, but I mean like make it clear, make it more clear is what I'm asking.
Yeah,
They did in the in like was it Homecoming? Yeah, right. Like his hairs, they made it obvious that
Oh,
he
that
has...
was in the Raimi movies, I guess. Right?
No, I'm almost sure. it
no,
was-
in Endgame when he's on the
yeah.
bus,
Yeah, in Endgame.
and the spaceship like comes into orbit, all of the fucking hairs on his arm like stick
point.
They should have done something like that. Like so, like in the beginning of the movie, like let's say he has a spider tingle, you know, his arm or his like hairs raise up, and then in the hypnosis scene, camera zooms in on his arm again, and it's just flat, like nothing. Something, a visual cue, because there was nothing there.
No, there wasn't.
They just mentioned it twice, mentioned it at the end, and acted like he earned it, when that's not the case. And I felt like that was not good build up, you know, and.
He did. I feel like he didn't even earn it either. He just said, "Come on, work for me," and they worked.
Yeah, and then it worked.
I was
right?
like, "What?"
Yeah, and then it turns to the action scenes.
It
And
just took a conversation with himself to get the fucking spider sense
A little
working
pep talk.
again.
Come on, now. We can do this.
So, okay, the action scenes. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I felt like a kid. Like, honestly, like, seeing him swinging and, like maneuvering the robots in a way to, like, destroy as
dude.
many as possible.
That was awesome.
Showed his character, showed his intelligence.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when his web shooters, like, stopped working, he, like, made a bomb or whatever and, like, used the shield.
And he used the shield.
Ingenious. I wish there was a little bit more of that, honestly. Like, I wish his intelligence was shown more. I
Wait.
loved when he talked about the multiverse, and then everyone's like, shut up, dude. I love that. And
My favorite part of the movie, just my favorite, like, individual little part was when he was on the plane and he's, like, making himself a new suit using all the fucking Stark technology
that was cool.
holograms. And then Happy just sort of smiles at him, and Peter's like, what? And
Yeah.
Happy's, nothing.
You were gonna
Go ahead, kid.
you were going to say something for
I was
me.
gonna say like, they don't even show how he gets his webs back, right? No, it's just like they pop up again.
No, I don't think he ever used him again for the rest of the movie.
No,
He
at the end he does.
He has to come back up.
But, I mean, that was a couple days after.
What?
Well, like, so, like,
Wasn't that the same scene?
no, because, I mean, when he's swinging around with MJ at the end,
No.
then he never used his webs again, I don't think.
No, he uses the spider sense, and he just sort of, like, maneuvers and, like, punches shit.
How he got to the bridge was he jumped off a drone. and
Oh
used
yeah,
that
he got the little
momentum.
boost. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. And then he got his webs back because he went back home.
Yeah, he went back home. You're right.
But I was gonna say that although the action scenes were really cool, I enjoyed them a lot. I had a lot of fun. I thought the directing was kind of flat. I didn't think there was anything really creative, and there's no style. And yeah, I mean, not every movie has to be like an Edgar Wright movie or like even like a Quentin, or you know what I mean? Like, but I just felt like it was boring back and forth shots when the people were talking. There's nothing stylistic going on. Even the Sam Raimi movies made web singing look so cool because the camera would follow him like from going up into
Yeah.
the cities going down and stuff. the camera was just positioned kind of flat and then would
like-
move side to side sometimes. But there was nothing creative going on. The most creative part was the hypnosis scene, which I loved. I can't get enough of that scene. Anything with that particular scene happening, whether it was on the bridge when he fought Mysterio and got his Peter tingle back, or when he was being manipulated in that empty building, was amazing. That was done really well. And I thought of one more thing that I wanted to talk about that's not necessarily a good thing. And that's that scene that you were talking about, Luke, when he was making his own suit.
Oh, yeah.
The message in the movie, correct me if I'm wrong, was supposed to be, you don't have to be the next Iron Man, just be the best you can be, right? Am I wrong? That's the message of the movie, right?
Yeah, that's what
I
Happy
suppose,
says.
yeah.
That's what Happy told him. It's like, no one can live up to Iron Man, but Iron Man believes in you and thinks that you can do better than him and that you can be the best that you can be, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I felt like that whole message was diminished the second he started making his own suit, because he started to look like he was Tony Stark and not necessarily Spider-Man. And it's like, okay, well, do you want him to be Spider-Man or do you want him to be Tony Stark? Like, pick a fucking message, you know what I mean?
I mean, if he, built an Iron Man suit, I'd get what you were saying.
But that's the thing. That's why Happy looked at him and smiled.
I
It
feel
was
like-
like
I
he was
feel
looking at Tony Stark again. Do you know what I mean? That's what it looked like to me.
But I feel like the original part is that he made his own Spider-Man suit, though. Like, he made his own style of a suit. That's what made it him, but at the same time have some Iron Man or, like, some Tony Stark because he's building it.
Because like him putting on like that like virtualistic glove thing almost looked like he had like a fucking mechanical arm from like Spider-Man's suit, and like him wearing the glasses like kind of made him look like Tony Stark. And I got the impression that like
He was trying to be like him.
Happy had a pleasant memory of watching
yeah,
Iron
okay.
Man make his suit and like fucking around with technology.
I get
That's what it looked like to me.
I think Happy simultaneously was nostalgic about Tony and also proud that Peter was taking the initiative.
Yeah.
And like being himself and creating a Spider-Man suit when like he's literally like almost every suit he's used in the past has been made by Tony. Like before this, like his homemade suit was like a red hoodie with some eye holes cut into it, and then Tony gives him an actual suit in Civil War. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think it needs to be one or the other. Like Happy can have a fond memory of Tony and also be proud of
yeah.
Peter for, doing it on his own.
I guess it was just like the general directing of like having him stand specifically with his right hand up, like messing around with like a virtualistic like gauntlet almost.
It did, yeah, actually.
It made him look,
yeah.
and then with the glasses, like I thought of Tony Stark, and like the whole movie was him worrying about, can I live up to Tony Stark? And then Happy's like, you don't need to be him, be yourself. But then he looks like him,
Yeah.
and I thought that was like kind of conflicting, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm looking into it too much, but like that's how I saw it, and I felt that was kind of conflicting. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should pick one or the other. I mean, if he's scared of not living up to Tony, and then he tells him you don't have to be him, then stick with it. In my opinion.
I get that, but like I agree with Luke. I feel like it's an important thing that shows that Peter isn't defeated, to sort of like take that initiative that Luke was talking about. Like I feel like that was important. I understand what you're trying to say, but I feel like that one little like moment right there was important to just show that he finally taking a step.
He's stepping up.
Yeah, he's stepping up to like what he's supposed to be doing.
Like if it had just been that one shot of him wearing Tony's glasses and like having the Iron Man-esque gauntlet, I'd agree with you. But then he starts making modifications. Like he changes Tony's design of the Spider-Man
that's
suit.
what I was thinking.
And like I feel like that is much more important than the one shot that kind of makes him look like Tony. I do have to disagree with you on here, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about that, I guess. Like, he's making his own design with his own... I mean, I guess it'll be interesting to see if he thinks up of his own upgrades, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, his suit is pretty fucking cool, to be
Yeah.
honest. I really like the design.
Has there been a Spider-Man suit in the MCU before this with the webs in the armpits where that let him glide?
The original suit that Tony gave him has that, I think.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
If that hasn't been on previous suits and Peter came up with that himself, that would be a really cool piece of character development. But I actually don't remember if that was in the previous suits.
I mean, they didn't. I mean, if they in the movie itself, they didn't put any specific attention to that detail. I guess there was no yeah, you saw him glide.
I mean, I think the 5-second clip of him gliding was kind of prevalent.
I mean, yeah,
with the fucking Spider-Man theme blasting in the background.
But I don't think it was necessarily I think it was just a moment of triumph. Yeah, I'm ready to kick his ass. Not necessarily, look at me, I made this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if you want to look it up right now, real quick, you can.
That's all right.
But is there anything else you guys want to go over? I mean, again. Just speaking of good things, I can't get enough of Tom Holland and the Zendaya. I felt like their chemistry was so good. I loved how awkward they were. They felt like actual teenagers, even though they're both in their 20s or something.
Yeah.
Their interactions. I really wish they had more scenes of Peter longing for MJ. That one scene in the opera where he exits and then looks back at her. Mm-hmm. They needed more of that shit. That was so perfect to me. I loved him chasing after her, and I loved her. I love this new interpretation of MJ. I like that she does shit on her own and isn't a damsel in distress. In the Raimi movies or just in the original comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a new MJ.
I just want to say, this is a cheap shot, but I'm gonna poke fun at the Amazing Spider-Man movies. In the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Andrew Garfield and his real-life girlfriend have...
Emma Stone, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield and his real-life girlfriend, Emma Stone, they had romantic scenes in those movies. And Tom Holland and Zendaya have more chemistry in this fucking movie than Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone did while they were dating and filming that movie.
Yeah, I adored those scenes. I honestly, if they had a whole movie just about that, I mean, I guess this was this movie, but I wouldn't mind watching it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That's the thing, You pointed out earlier that you thought the first act was somewhat weak, and I agree it was the weakest of the acts, but fuck me, man. The kids are adorable, alright? I love the romantic comedy high school bullshit.
I just wish it was... Because it's it doesn't work for this movie. They're not in a school... I mean, yeah, I guess it's a school field trip, but it's not Homecoming. This is its own thing.
I just feel maybe it's just an emphasis thing, just to remind us that he is a kid and that he does maybe it just helps give a sustenance to why he sort of gives up the glasses so quickly, maybe.
Yeah, but I guess it's just I wish they'd done it better, because I'm glad Ned is in this movie. Ned stole every scene he was in.
Oh my god,
Ned is so funny.
Ned and the blonde girl,
their relationship
best
was
characters in the movie.
So funny, dude. Oh my god.
Everything Ned says.
Those were the words of a boy.
I'm now a man. I've met a woman. And then at the end, a couple we broke up, and a couple. What matters is the journey.
Yeah.
And those memories that we share.
And
it's
she's
you're
so wise.
Yeah.
The best part about the MCU Spider-Man movies thus far have been that the characters are just so fucking lovable, and I genuinely love the scenes of just these kids talking because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. The action was amazing and by far the best part of the movie in my opinion, but just the chemistry between the actors and the way they portrayed these teenage characters. It was hilarious, and I could watch an entire movie of that without the action.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the beginning scene where in memoriam in Comic Sans where they made a slideshow presentation with grainy pictures.
Comic Sans, no capitalization.
Yeah. Getty images of candles at the end and shit.
And then they got
brilliant.
the like the student newsroom shit.
Oh my god.
I wish we had that at our school.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been.
I'm not gonna say the name of the school, but I shadowed, like, when I was choosing which high school to go to, I shadowed at one of the schools in our area, and they had one of those, like...
Really?
Yeah, they had, like, a news show that they would do, like, every week with the students. Wow. And it was just as awkward as you would think of it. Like, in this movie, Oh my god, the portrayal of the two teenagers who are just doing this to put it on their college applications and who don't give a single fuck was flawless.
Yeah, I love how they portray teenage awkwardness. I thought that was really well done, especially with Tom Holland and Zendaya. What did you think, Franny?
Of course, Tom Holland's in there. Overall, like, I feel like that whole chemistry part, I just felt like it was so, like how you're saying, like, it was so good. I just felt like it was natural. I felt like it was that realistic part. It's like what sort of helps, like, maybe some audience members connect to, like, dang, like, that's actually, like, how kids act, like,
Yeah.
we're cringy like that, like, we're awkward like that, right? But I want to sort of transition to, like, it's very small, it's not much to talk about, it's just that one end scene. I don't understand why they put it. I sort of asked you guys about it earlier, just, like, the Flash, and he asks about his mom. He just,
So, at the end of the movie,
like,
they all get back from Europe, and, like, everyone is greeted by their parents, or in Peter's case, his aunt, and Flash shows up, and he just sees his dad, and he's like...
Not even his dad. It was just a limo driver.
Oh, right. And he asks, like, oh, mother couldn't make it.
And then that's it.
And then they cut away.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're, like... And see, that, I feel like, also encompasses the problem I have. Real-world consequences, drama, is played as a joke. That actually is, like, actually really sad.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, like, I don't know why they added it in that specific moment, but again, like,
Flash's mom is gonna be the main villain from here on out. Flash's mom is the villain of Phase 4. It's the only way to follow up Thanos, okay?
See, like, I was gonna say, like, their motive for that scene was comedy, but that adds to the character if they played it seriously. You know what I mean? Or at least gave it more attention. Like,
you could justify Flash being the unlikable prick that he is if you took that more seriously.
But it's just a joke.
Yeah, they played it off for laughs. That was very out of place and weird. But then, but then we got back to the good stuff, and we finish off the movie with Peter, webbing around. I can't speak. He's swinging around with Zendaya on his shoulder, and that was fucking hilarious. Her reactions were spot on, and then when she gets off, she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm good. Just never doing that again."
Yeah. And then
the movie ends, and we get into the end credits scene.
Holy shit! I can't believe they got J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson. I cannot believe that. I lost my mind both times I watched it.
If he's not in the third movie, and, like, a prevalent character, I'm gonna be pissed.
He better be.
Like, if they just got him back for that one scene, I'm not gonna be happy.
No.
Alright? That was
I don't know,
amazing.
That's the reason I hated it and liked it for, like, so many reasons. Like, I liked it because they brought him back.
Yeah.
I hated it because Peter got exposed, but then I hated it because I'm not sure if he's gonna come back, J.K. Simmons gonna come back or not. And it's just sort of just like, it gives you all the nostalgia, and now you just gotta wait.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen next?
I mean, they did their job. Like, you're waiting for the next Spider-Man movie.
That's true, but it's like, if they don't, that's such a cook.
Yeah.
I need to see Peter get a job at the Daily Bugle.
I feel like, don't get me wrong.
It has to happen.
See, I love this interpretation of the character, right? I love the fact that he's...
Which character?
J. Jonah Jameson. The fact that he's, like, an Alex Jones-esque character. And, like, they, like, I guess, got inspired or stole it from, like, the video game. Because that happens in the video game, too, where he has, like, a podcast. And when you're swinging around, you can listen to him, and he's like, yo, fucking Spider-Man. Like, it's funny. He has, like, conspiracy theories and stuff. I love that. Sorry about that. But, besides that, I feel like it's impossible for Peter to work at the Daily Bugle because, I mean, how can you really work? I mean, I guess, yeah, you can send in pictures and stuff, but his identity is exposed. So
Yeah, right. They put a
all-
picture of his face.
all connection to, like, the Daily Bugle is gone.
Yeah, it's impossible, yeah.
So, I mean,
Dude, like, you remember Spider-Man 3, where, Sam Raimi, he just wanted to have Venom as the villain. And then the studio interfered and were like, no, you have to add Sandman and,
Green Goblin?
yeah,
No.
the Green Goblin's son.
he
Yeah.
mixed it up. It's the other way around.
What do you mean?
He wanted Sandman, but I forgot the guy's name. He wanted Venom because he wanted to sell toys.
Oh, right.
Because that whole scene with, like, remember when Sandman picks up the picture?
Oh my god, best scene in the
Oh,
trilogy.
it's...
That's why it's the best scene, because he wanted to focus on Sandman.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying...
Point is, like, if Spider-Man 3 just had, like, one villain, it would have been much less of a mess of a movie. And don't get me wrong, it's probably my favorite of the trilogy, because I love bad movies.
Right.
But yeah, like just imagine if Peter's identity hadn't been revealed, like, just imagine Tom Holland, and you get, like, someone to portray Eddie Brock, and you've got them, like, you've got Eddie Brock trying to expose Spider-Man, and then you've got him working with Peter as his colleague at the Daily Bugle, and you've got you've got Peter doing his Spider-Man things and him, like, looking out for Eddie, trying to make sure he doesn't get exposed, and then you get to see Tom Holland interact with J. Jonah Jameson,
Who hates him,
Yeah.
basically? Like,
like, it would have been Spider-Man 3, but if it wasn't a cluttered mess with 3 villains, like, if they had just focused on Venom. And there are 3 versions of Spider-Man 3 that could have been great. Like,
Yeah.
if it had just been Sandman, if it had just been the Green Goblin's son, Harry, or if it had just been Venom. And I would have loved to see that with Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. But now, with Peter being exposed, that will never happen. Which, admittedly, I am interested to see where we go from here in
Yeah.
Phase 4, with everyone knowing who Peter is.
I'm just glad there's finally a consequence. Something that, like, will drag on to the next movie, and something that will actually finally affect Peter Parker. And I'm really excited to see how students are gonna, like, talk to him now. Because,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
a big part of Spider-Man not only is, like, the superhero aspect, but it's his relationships with people. And, like, I'm so excited to see.
Can he even go to
Yeah, I was
school?
about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Can
And I swear to God, if they play it up as a joke, and nothing happens, everyone's cool with it, like Aunt May was with this movie.
That's when I'm scared. Like, they're gonna do something like they're gonna, like, expose that the footage was doctored by Mysterio's crew, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh, I guess he's not actually Peter Parker, and then everything's gonna go back to normal. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, because I think it's gonna be very interesting to see where we go from here. But I would not be surprised if, like, within the first 30 minutes of Spider-Man 3, like, MCU Spider-Man 3, this is all resolved, and everyone assumes, okay, it's not actually Peter, that guy was just insane, and this footage was fake.
You know what, though? Like, I'm thinking about it. I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that is, in the actual footage, you only see Spider-Man's legs.
Yeah.
You never see his face. And they could easily just say, like, oh, you know, they dubbed over his voice or some bullshit like that. The only thing they show
I
of
mean,
his
it's not
face...
really bullshit, to be fair.
Well, you're right, but, like, that's how they're gonna spin it, to make sure that he has his identity again.
But the only thing that'd be weird is that if that happens in the first 30 minutes, that means in the first 30 minutes they already take out the entire crew. Like, if the next
The
movie's
crew?
The
Mysterio's crew,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, like, if the next movie's just based on them,
I mean, do we think they're gonna be a factor? I mean, there's not exactly a very menacing villain to pluck from that group.
I mean, that bald guy that has the flash drive.
yeah,
I
like he
guess.
downloaded a bunch of stuff.
I mean,
How many words did he speak in the fucking movie?
no, but I feel like he's probably gonna team up with somebody, maybe.
yeah, again.
Listen, just have J. Jonah Jameson get all of the Infinity Stones. And, and the Venom symbiote. Have him become and Mjolnir, fuck it. Have J. Jonah Jameson become the most powerful being in the universe, and he is the new villain from now on.
from phase.
You can't beat him, dude. You can't.
Not just phase 4. Phases 4 through 12 should give us enough content.
Yeah.
Give me about 60 movies with J. Jonah Jameson as the main villain, and I'll be happy.
So this is what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? Tell me.
The old formula for superhero movies was, there's an underdog superhero, they get beaten down, but in the end, they always overcome the villain. Infinity War broke that because Thanos won.
Yes.
If J. Jonah Jameson becomes the new Thanos, Venom, fucking Mjolnir holding motherfucker he is, every movie, the norm will be Infinity War, and he will win every single movie. And then we'll have an end game where they actually beat him, and then it's like, oh
no,
my God.
he needs to win.
No, yeah, that's the thing. They think that they beat him, and now he's like, I'm back.
Yeah, he always comes back. All right, but is there anything else we want to address? I mean, the final end credits scene was, I think, garbage. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought it was kind of,
it was strange.
I'm not really excited.
I don't understand what's the purpose of just showing that Nick Fury wasn't actually there. It's like
He was with what are they called again?
The Skrulls.
I mean,
I will admit I'm intrigued. I will admit I want to know what's going on, but I'm also kind of annoyed that I don't know what's going on. But then, admittedly, you could say that about when Thanos was introduced. In the end credit scene of Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. After Ultron fails to defeat the Avengers, some random purple fuck just says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And everyone was like, what the fuck is that? And he became, the best villain in superhero history. So maybe we just need to give this a chance.
See, but if you read comics, you know Thanos. So people would be like, well, shit. Because, that's a whole story in the comic books. Maybe this is a story, and we just don't know about it. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really read a lot of comics. I only knew who Mysterio was because I played the Spider-Man video game on the PlayStation 1.
I really
shout out to all the boys who have played that game and who had to use cheat codes to get through it because there was a game-breaking glitch that didn't let you get past level 10.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
But yeah, I guess we're just gonna come to a close. We'll just give our final thoughts. Do you guys want to give a rating? We don't really have anything planned for this, but you guys want to give us some sort of rating?
8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10? How come? Just a little thing.
I liked the movie. There were some problems, but I really liked it, and I'm going to rewatch it.
Okay, Franny?
Yeah, I will give it a solid 8. I feel like there's just some weird transitions that shouldn't have been so clunky, but after that, everything else was good. Comedy, the relationship with Zendaya and Tom Holland, and the action, really awesome. So solid 8.
Yeah, I'd probably give it 8.5, like you.
Okay.
Like you, Luke. I feel like it really pains me. I loved it. It wasn't perfect though, and I feel like the first act really brought down the flow of the movie in the beginning. It really does pick up. I thought some of the directing was a little boring, a little flat. There's some problems with the villain. All in all, though, I had a lot of fun. I felt really nostalgic. I felt like there was finally some sense of consequence, even if it was just at the very end. Maybe not throughout the movie, which does bring it down a little bit. But there were lots of glimpses of brilliance that really heightened the movie for me and overshadowed a lot of the bad stuff. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5. And yeah, this will be the end of the podcast. I'm not sure what we'll do for the next episode.
I don't know. Maybe we do the Raimi trilogy.
That'd be fucking great. We promised. What did we promise last time? Click. We watched it.
We did watch it, and we sort of liked it too much for it to go along with our theme of reviewing bad movies.
But we broke that with this movie.
With episode 2. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you at the next podcast.